Hey guys, I'm Ben Taylor with Queen Elizabeth Academy, and we're back again today for another English lesson. How are you all doing? So we've gotten 2 lessons down now. That's pretty amazing. You've done 2 lessons so far. We're on to our 3rd lesson. And just to give you a bit of a summary of our last lesson, just a little reminder. Last lesson, we went over the basics of short and medium conversation. We talked about things like, who do you have a medium conversation with? What can you talk about in a short versus a medium conversation? And when would you have these kinds of conversations? So you should be feeling pretty comfortable with short conversation, for sure. A little bit comfortable with medium conversation. And today, I'm going to try to get you even more confident and comfortable in your medium conversation skills by diving into some specific situations. We're going to have a lot of vocabulary and a lot of phrases in this lesson that have to do with specific situations that you might find yourself in while you're having a medium conversation. So what do we mean by specific situations? Maybe you want to apologize to someone. You did something wrong, you feel bad, and you need to apologize. Or maybe you need to thank someone. They did something really great for you, and you want to express gratitude or your thanks for them. Do you know how to do this? If you don't, that's okay. That's what this lesson today is for. So we're going to go over 4 different specific situations today. First, how to say sorry and how to respond to someone who says sorry to you. Second, how to thank someone or how to respond to somebody who thanks you. Third, how to ask a favor or how to respond to somebody who asks a favor from you. And fourth, how to ask somebody to repeat themselves or to speak a little bit more slowly. This 4th one is very important, as you probably can tell. Maybe sometimes I talk too quickly and you have trouble understanding. Maybe you have to rewind that video several times. In real life, you can't rewind the video, so you need to know how to ask somebody nicely, politely, courteously to repeat themselves. Because you'll encounter this a lot where English speakers say things very quickly and you need them to repeat themselves. So that 4th thing we're going to go over today is really important. So let's get started. Number 1, how to say sorry. First off, what is sorry? Sorry. You might have heard this word. You might already know what it means. But if you don't, sorry is usually said in English to give an apology. An apology, meaning you admit that you did something wrong. However, there are different types of sorry, different ways of saying sorry, and it often depends on the context of the situation. So when I said earlier, we're talking about specific situations, this is what I mean. So the first kind of sorry or way of saying sorry is saying sorry when you made someone feel bad or you made a situation worse. For example, if you lied to someone, to lie is to not tell the truth, to tell something that is false, knowingly. In this instance, you might just say, I'm sorry that I lied to you. I'm sorry that I lied to you. What this does is it acknowledges that you were wrong, and it kind of helps to strengthen the relationship, to restore trust. So if you do something wrong, someone might lose some trust in you. By apologizing, using the word sorry, you kind of restore trust. You restore that person's trust in you. In this instance, there's different tones of saying sorry. Do you remember the word tone from our previous lessons? Tone is the volume or the pitch or the amount of emotion you put into a phrase, and it can change the meaning of that phrase. If you remember, we had a phrase, "What's the matter?" Remember, what's the matter? We say, "What's the matter?" when we think that something is wrong. We want to comfort someone. We say, "What's the matter with you?" when we're angry at someone. And it's a difference in tone, right? So with sorry, we have the same issue with tone that we need to be very careful with. So a light sorry might just be sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. A medium level of sorry might be, I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. In this case, you're adding on what you are sorry for. So not just I'm sorry, but you're giving a reason. A really strong sorry would be, I truly apologize for hurting your feelings. So we can use the word apologize as a verb also instead of sorry. I apologize. I am sorry. These mean the same thing. When you use the word apology, though, this is a very formal way of expressing that you are sorry. So I apologize is much more formal than I am sorry. You would use this more formal way of apologizing with people you are not very close with, people that you have more of a formal relationship with. For example, your boss, or maybe a distant friend, or just an acquaintance, somebody you don't have a really close relationship with. You also say sorry when you want to express sympathy, when you want to sympathize with someone. Sympathy just means to feel badly for someone's unfortunate situation or circumstances. So something bad has happened to somebody and you want to show that you feel bad for them. You want to sympathize with them. For example, if someone's mother passed away is just a nicer way of saying died. So someone's mother died or passed away, you might say, I'm so sorry to hear that your mother passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that your mother passed away. In this instance, you would never want to use apologize. You don't want to say, I apologize that your mother passed away. That doesn't make any sense, and it makes it sound like you were the cause, which I hope is not the case. You want to say, I'm so sorry that your mother passed away. You didn't do anything wrong in this situation, but you're saying sorry because you want to show sympathy. You want to help comfort the other person. The third reason you would say sorry is out of courtesy. Out of courtesy, especially when you want to interrupt someone. So in our last lesson, we talked about not interrupting people when they're talking, but if you do need to interrupt someone, you can use the word sorry. For example, you might say, sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if you could help me with someone. Or perhaps you're in a city and you're unfamiliar with the directions where you need to go. You could walk up to somebody and say, I'm sorry, but do you know where the bank is? Do you know where the nearest bus stop is? Whatever you need to find. The important thing here is that sorry is used as a courteous way to interrupt someone. I'm sorry to bother you, but you can say whatever you need to say. It's also used as a way to excuse yourself if you bump into somebody. So you could say, sorry, if you're walking in a crowded area and you accidentally hit someone, something like that. So it's another way of saying excuse me or pardon me. The fourth and last reason you would want to say sorry, or way of saying sorry, is kind of complicated. It's a way of saying sorry, but you don't really mean that you're sorry. I'll give you an example. So you could say, I'm sorry, but this is not acceptable. So maybe you have an employee, or even your kid has done something wrong. You say, I'm sorry, but this is unacceptable. In this case, you're not actually apologizing for anything. You didn't do anything wrong. The reason we use sorry is it's because we want to set the stage for something more serious. We want to do what we call in English softening the blow. To soften the blow is to make something serious or harsh a little bit less serious or harsh. So I'm sorry, but this is unacceptable. You're being serious, but you're trying to be a little bit nice still in the process, rather than just saying, this is unacceptable. You can say, sorry, but this is unacceptable. What if somebody is apologizing to you? Do you know how to respond to sorry? There's ways you should respond, and there's ways you should not respond. So I'm going to go over 4 different ways to respond to sorry. If you want to accept someone's apology, you could simply say, thank you for apologizing. I appreciate it. Thank you for apologizing. This type of apology can be considered formal, so this is in a very formal situation, this response, thank you for apologizing. So again, it's used more with people you don't know, people you're less familiar with. The second way you could respond to sorry is simply by saying, it's okay. It's okay. This is very informal. It's usually said when someone's actions aren't extremely serious. Maybe it's just a small thing that happened. It's okay. The third way you could respond is by saying, it's all right. It's not a big deal. It's all right. It's not a big deal. This is basically the same as it's okay, just adding a few more words. If you don't feel like the person hurt you at all and their apology is unnecessary, the fourth way that you could respond to sorry is by saying, don't worry about it. You don't have to apologize. Don't worry about it. You don't have to apologize. Or, no need to apologize. It wasn't your fault. So only use these in situations where you don't think the apology is necessary.